you say that Putin's war is really pushing up the price of gasoline, for instance. For how long will the sanctions approach be used by Treasury?
During my conversations in Europe, we talked about what else we could do to ensure that we went after Russia's war machine and ensured that they had fewer resources going forward to prosecute their invasion in Ukraine. And this included everything from looking at ways to go after the military devices that they're building to use not only in Ukraine, but to project power elsewhere. Also looking at ways that we could continue to put pressure on Russia's financial system in order to ensure that they had to spend more money propping up their economy rather than being able to invest that money in their war in Ukraine.
Do you think states have used their ARP funding effectively, and what could they do better to implement that funding?
President Putin a few weeks ago said that in response to our sanctions, the Russian economy was going to have to transform. What he didn't say was the quiet part out loud, which meant that this transformation would mean that the Russian economy is less flexible, it's smaller, it's less able to project power into the future. The way that we look for signs that they're working is you look at the data in Russia. And while the Kremlin has done a great job of trying to manipulate their currency and shutting down their stock market and making it hard for Russians to take money out of the country, the thing they've been unable to do is control some of the data that's coming out. Last week, data showed that new car sales in Russia had fallen by over 60%. The IMF and independent forecasters expect the Russian economy to contract by more than 10%, and that Russia's economy will get smaller over time due to the sanctions and export controls that we've put in place. So those are the signs that we see of the sanctions working. Let's be clear that the increase in energy prices was caused by President Putin's invasion. And we're going to continue to see volatility in those markets as long as President Putin continues his illegitimate invasion of Ukraine. We've also made a commitment, and the President made this while he was in Europe, to help provide Europe with some of the energy we're producing here in the United States. Our German counterparts and my European counterparts in general are working as hard as possible to make plans to get off of Russian energy as quickly as possible, including last week's announcement that they were going to ban Russian coal in the near term. And our expectation is that they're going to take these steps in order to further deprive the Kremlin of the resources they need to continue to project power into the future and to stabilize the region. I was just in Memphis, as I was mentioning earlier, and seeing how they've used money to help address the rental issues using the emergency rental assistance money, which the overall money we've seen 80% of went towards low-income households, 40% to African-American households, and 20% to Latinx households. But what Memphis has also done with the money is they've invested in affordable housing so that going forward, people are able to afford the homes they're in and use that money for opportunity. And that's happening throughout the country, and lots of communities are thinking through ways that they not only use the money to address the immediate crisis, but how they build their communities better into the future in order to make sure that people have economic opportunity.